one of the things that we're doing is I want to educate you guys on 5 things. The title is 5 Things You Need to Know About Money Before Graduating High School. Okay? So I'm going to teach you some good things that you might need to know and create some good habits. Okay, let me get started real quick here. Let me set this up. Okay guys, real quick things. 5 things, what are 5 things about money that, can somebody tell me 5 things that you need to know, you'd like to know before graduating from high school? Anybody? How to make $1 million bucks, that's great. I'm going to show you all how to do that, especially you guys. Okay, what do you have? What do you have, yes?
Like student loans, money.
How to get money for college student loans, okay? We can do that. Okay, what else? Miss Harrington?
How not to get into debt.
How not to get into debt. That's great. That's a good one too. How to get scholarship. Okay, very good. Anybody else? Okay, that's it. Okay, well, next slide. All right. Well, this session here, because I didn't know the type of audience we have, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to budget, think about budget, building your credit the right way. Okay, you know what credit is, or anybody know what the heck that is? Credit, you know, like your credit score or something like that, how it affects you to be able to get loans or things like that for a reasonable amount. Okay. The next one is ways to save money. You tell me that, you know, I can't save enough money or I don't know how to save money. I'm going to show you how to save money, okay? And the other one is before you spend or buy, let's think, okay? So in other words, if you're going to spend $30 on a, going to the movie, is that about $30? Popcorns and movie tickets. And I'm going to show you, for spending that $30, how much money you could have saved for your retirement or something like that. Okay. And the next one is, how many of you, instead of depending on mom and dad, would like to buy your own car with your own money? The parents must raise their hand, probably that. The parents probably like that. Okay, next. All right, I got this sheet here. Real quick. Okay, how many of you like to eat pizza? Yes. All right, I'm gonna pass this little mini budget here. Here, just take one and pass it around. Alright, as she's passing it around, you know, like, how many of you have like a budget? Do you get allowances or anything like that? Okay, tell me how much allowances you get. You get $1? So how do you get more money than $1? What do you have to do? Do their job? Hey, that's good. What else do you do to make money? Get a part-time job. Good, great. Okay. So what else? What else do you know, when you go to college or you're gonna go to college, do you have to pay rent or is that mom and dad? Probably you want, I mean, if, let's say this, if you are getting mom and dad to pay the rent, you're not gonna be able to pick where you want to live, right? And you're not gonna be able to pick the special dorms that you wanna stay in, right? So what about like, you heard something called electricity? You know, it's not free, right? What about, hey, you heard something that's called food? You know, like grocery stores and things like that, heard that? What else? Do you walk to school or do you drive to school? Okay, I mean, you know, gasoline. What about going to the movie? No, how many of you said you don't want to go to the movie? All right, so you saved up all that money. How about phone? How about cell phone? How many of you said you don't want to use your phone? Oh, very good, okay? And so the point I'm making is this. This is something called a budget that you have. Every one of you needs to look at a budget when you start going out to college, figuring out how much it costs to live and things like that. Some of these things are things that you have to pay, and it's just not free. So you can get a job, then if you have a car, you have to have insurance, and then of course you probably, if you're at the dorm or living in a house, the landlord might expect you to have renter's insurance just in case, you know, you burn down the house, your renter's insurance can pay for the house. So those are a lot of things that you kind of got to be aware of before you get to college. And then one big thing is, how many of you here have jobs? Okay, shout out what you do job-wise. Tutor, okay? And so how many days you work per week? 3 days work per week, how many hours? 6, okay? So you know, you could be doing other things, right? But so that's how you make money. So what else? Another job. Swim instructor. Good. But can you show? So swim instructor. So what you're going to do is after what happened if when you graduate, what you're going to do? Going to be a swim instructor again from after high school, or you have to get another job. Okay. Well, you work at a concession stand at your school. College concession stand, great. So that job is only, I guess, just during the time that the college has some event or something like that. So it's limited earning, right? 3 games every week, okay? So what else? Job? Anybody? Okay. Well, the point is, I want you to look at this, and each of you should try to make your own budget. Okay, it might not be fun, but if you have your own budget, that gives you a plan to before you go to college, have a plan of how much money and how much you can stay in the budget. Next slide. Okay. Now let's do some things that are a little bit interesting here. Anybody heard why credit is a big deal? You know, like somebody said, oh, my credit score, or I have credit cards, or I have loans, or anybody heard that? Okay. So the important thing about having credit is important. What that means is the better your credit is, meaning that the people that's going to loan you money, they can trust you. So because you handle well as far as paying back your loan. So they're able to let you have a loan for a lower interest rate. In other words, instead of buying a car, get a car loan for 10%, you might be able to get it for 7% and save those money. Okay? The point is having credit is very, very important. Anybody heard about Rule of 72? Rule of 72, okay? Rule of 72, what that means is when you have good credit, because you save that money on getting the loan, having to pay a lower interest rate, that money that you save, by using this Rule 72, you're able to determine when your money doubled. So for example, okay, let's say if you were to put money in the bank for $100 in the bank, okay, and at a 2% interest, Okay? So, rule 72, what you do is, take 72, divide by 2. So, by 36 years, that's when your money doubles. Okay? Okay. And then I want to teach you how to think like a millionaire. There's some great ways to save money, and then how your money can work hard for you. Next slide. Okay. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? Or you can't print them out, right? So next slide. Okay. Here's an example. Tracy's story. Okay. She purchased a new car for $30,000. She has good credit rating. And she got an interest rate of 5.5% APR. So you guys know what anybody got a loan before for a car here, except for the adults? All right. Well, so what happened is she's going to pay for $30,000. The bank going to charge her a 5.5% interest rate, so she'll pay $573 in 48 months. So anybody here have a calculator? Can you tell me what 573 times 48 equals? Next. Okay. Okay, now let's do this, okay? So the next slide, first Tracy's story is that she's paying $30,000 on a loan. Okay. First Tracy's paying, she has good credit, so she's paying 5.5% on a loan. Then next, Nick, he's paying 8.5% on a loan because he does not have good credit, right? So the difference between the two, he's paying $616 and $573. The difference is about $43 a month difference, right? Next slide. It doesn't seem that much, but if you do some math, $43 per month for 15 years at 1% interest, that's about $8,300 saved. Okay? And then for if you're gonna do $43 a month for 30 years, it's equates to about $18,000. You might not look like it's a lot for $43, but that's how the number adds up. Next slide. Okay. So let's say you could. This is about like if you do $48 with a 1% interest rate, it's about equates to about $20,000 saving. Next slide. Saving, if you want to save about $200 per month, let's say I tell you to way to save some money. If you were to save $200 a month, like say spending less money on going out, eating out, going to a movie and things like that. For 20 years, that's about $53,000. Is that a lot of money, or is that too little for you guys? You can buy a pretty good, a lot of, an iPad or computers or a nice car too, right? Next slide. Okay, rule 72. How long it would take to double my money? Next. Again, I was alluding to a while ago. You take the annual percentage yield, which is the rate, the money, the interest that you're paying. 72 divided by 2 equals 36. That's how long it takes your money to double. Next. All right. Let's say Mary Jane. She's 23 years old. She has an inheritance of $10,000, and she decides to save. And if she only earns 2%, that's very little. 2% interest. When will her money double? Okay, so by the time she is 36 years, by the time she's 59, it will become $20,000. Next. When she's 95, which is the next 36 years, it'll be $40,000. And at 131 should be, it'd be $80,000. Next. Okay. Who can think like a millionaire? Okay? Who can think like a millionaire? Okay. I think everybody can think like a millionaire, okay? You heard the value of compounding interest, okay? Money grows, and then the compounding interest grows again. Just like the scenario, how you have $10,000, it doubles. After 36 years, it doubles again. Or if you have a higher interest rate, let's say if you do 10%, every 7.2 years, the money double and double. Next. Okay. How smart you save, that makes the biggest difference. Next. Okay. Analyze your situation. Where do you want to be? How will you get there? What will get you there? What is your time frame? What will stop you? Okay? So, what are some of the things that could stop you from becoming a millionaire? Huh? Debts? Okay, and what else? Taxes, okay, that's good. What else? Huh? Lawsuits, okay, good. Children, okay, that's good. Alright, well, let's look at this. Okay, so you determine a strategy to protect, to earn your income and to grow more. So let's go next. Okay, what is the best way to save money? Anybody? Pay yourself first. So help me understand, what does that mean? See, some of you, do you have like a job? The job, and then you get a check, direct deposit, right? Or do you get a check still? You get the check cash, okay? Do you have, like when you have a job, you can have it actually directly deposited into your checking account, and you may, or saving account, you may not even remember. And then after a while, it'll be a lot of money, you forget about it. So that's one of the things that you want to have. It's like, it's a nice little side account that you can do, okay? Next. What does money mean to each of you? Security, that's good. What else? Happiness, good. There's nothing wrong with that. Security, happiness. You need to eat, right? You need to have entertainment, right? Next. Okay, money means supporting your family, right? Giving your children education. Living comfortably, financial independence, and retirement. Maybe you can retire early. How many of you want to, like, say, retire when you are, 50 years old? So guess what you have to do? Plan on it, right? Plan on it. Okay, next. How do you measure success? Okay. Time is money, heard the expression? Time is money, okay? Free time is the ultimate measure of success. So if you have money, you're able to have a lot of free time to do a lot of different things. Because if you don't have money, then you are busy working and don't have the time to walk in the park, travel, do community work, etc. Next. You can make a difference. Money can work hard for you. Next. Time is your best friend. Okay. So when I give you that scenario, let's say this. Let's say if I give you $5,000. Okay. If I give you $5,000 each. Okay. I want to see who's paying attention. I give you $5,000 each, and let's say you invested in something that's giving you a return of 10%, okay? So tell me, how many years does it take to double your money?
7.2.
7.2 years, okay? So 7.2, and let's say you guys are only, let's say 96 Okay, 10, okay. Let's say you're 10 years old. If you're 10 years old, and by the time you get to 72 years old, how much would that, 72 years old from 10, that's 62 years, is that right? 62 years from now? So how much your $5,000 would be? Okay. Well, we'll just think about that, okay? We'll do a scenario for that later on, okay? Everyone's situation is different. Good idea to check with your, of course, your tax and legal advisor, but you guys don't have to worry about that right now, okay? Next. Not every opportunity will give you the same result. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have money, you put in certain things will yield you different results. And again, you need to shop around for those results. Next. Okay. All right, let's do this scenario here. I want to. Okay, let's do this scenario here, okay? So, I'm going to see the screen here. This young man here says he's 10, right? And let's say if he's getting a 6% interest rate, okay? And then we'll just even put in something that you guys are not familiar with. Somebody mentioned tax, right? And you have to pay taxes, right? All right, so what I'm trying to say is, let's say if you want to wait to buy what are some of the ways to, that you think you can save money? Give me an idea. Eating at home, okay? So if you're eating at home, how much money do you think you can save? Is that, eating at home, how much money do you think you save? Maybe $50 a month, is that right? More? How much do you save? How much? Give me a shout out a number. $200 a month, okay? All right, so what about waiting to buy a new car? About $200 or how much? $200? How about buying fewer clothes? How much is that? Buying fewer clothes. Per month. Alright, let's say $100. How about, like, say, you're taking, those of you that are driving, you're taking a fewer trips, right? Fewer trips save gasoline. So let's say you save about $50 a month just for that. And let's say going to the movie one less time, okay? Go to the movie one less time. So that's $30 of popcorn. And then, you guys don't have credit cards, but let's say if you have good credit, you might save, like that scenario, that young lady, $43. And then, of course, sometimes carpooling, right? You save money too. So I have this financial calculator that you just go on the web and do this. And then I'm going to say that you're going to retire at 67 years old, okay? All right, let me show you some numbers. Okay, you see the number? Okay, it says here, it says by reducing your spending each year for all these spendings that I put on there, waiting to buy a car, eating less, save $200, buying fewer clothes, save $100, taking fewer trips, $50, going to fewer movies, $30, paying off your credit card or just having good credit, and then carpooling. So all of that will save you about $8,016 each year. If you invest this amount in 10 years, just in 10 years, okay? Because you gotta have a lot of time. It will become $98,218, okay? And by not doing anything else just for that 10 years, you just do it for that 10 years. And just leaving that money in there is going to become what now? What is the number? Anybody can do, is $1 million okay? $1,732 okay? How many iPads is that? Right. So the point I'm making here, guys, I'm showing you this. It's not that hard to do. It just takes some commitment. That's all it is. And I mean, you can go up here, you can put anything you want, and it'll tell you. I mean, if you save $10, you may not be saving. You don't have to save like $200. You can save $5, $10. So the point I'm making is, for example, because you went out to the movies one time less, right? One time less. Let's see. Say, by going to the movie one time less per month, that saves you $360, right? Everybody with me on the math? After 10 years, with the interest growth, that's $4,411. And you just keep there till you're 67 years old, you'll have $77,000. I mean, anybody wants to put in a number? So I guess I'm preaching to the choir. Everybody can start thinking about before you spend money. And I mean, seriously, you can have that kind of money, okay? All right. Now that you have money, how many of you are hoping to drive and that you're not going to drive distracted? How many of you are going to start looking for a car? Okay, and so the first thing is. So I said here, do you really need a car? Okay, and he said, yes. What do I want this car for? What kind of car do I want? And what are you willing to spend? Okay, so some of the things. Why did you, when you buy a car? Why did you buy a car? Because of the looks, reliability, or the warranty? What is it that when you go buy a car, are you familiar with what you have to look for? Gas mileage, good. Because you can save that extra money on the gasoline, right? And then what about, would safety be a good factor? No? Okay. Well, then you'd be at the trauma center. And Miss Harrington might see you there. She doesn't want to see you there. And then, of course, anybody heard something called depreciation? Tell me what it is. So she said, as soon as you drive your car out of the lot, the value drops. So let's say you bought a car for $30,000 brand new. You drive off the lot, and then it might drop like $5,000 or $8,000. Okay? Where do you normally go find a car? Dealership? Huh? Parking lots? Okay. Parking lots, okay. How do you, yeah, that's good. But to buy it legally. Where do you get the car legally, okay? So, you know, you can buy it from a private owner, you can buy it from online, you can buy it from dealership, okay? Anybody heard of, you know, the dealership, you know where it is already, but you heard of like private owners, like say, let's say one of your legal member, mom or dad want to sell a car, then you can negotiate the rate and then afford that to do that. And then what about online? Heard of online? Tell me one of the online car dealership website. May heard of eBay, okay. What else? Craigslist. Auto Trader, yeah, Auto Trader, yeah, that's a good website. Autotrader.com, okay? So basically what I'm trying to say is this. When you go buy a car, if you're buying a new car, there's a situation where when you drive it off the lot, one of the young lady here says, it's going to depreciate. But then if you were to buy a used car, one of the questions you want to ask is, why are they selling this used car? What's the reason? Has it been in an accident? Why are they selling this car? I mean, they bought it new. Why all of a sudden they just decided to sell this car? And sell it for a much lower rate. What's the reason behind that? So something like that, you have to be leery about that. But because you buy a used car, you're able to get the car at a much lower price, you know. And then also something you have to look at. Anybody heard of something called Carfax? Anybody bought a used car and heard of Carfax? Some of those services, what it does is it helps you identify if the car has been in a flood, if it has been in a major structural damage, the safety, you know, or if it's even a lemon, meaning the car has so many problems that the dealership could not fix when it was bought new. And what happened is it's designated as a lemon, and the purchaser is able to return it to the car company of that brand, that name of that car company. And then of course, what happened is, you don't want to get into that, but the point is, you have to do research. Go do research. One of the best places to do is Edmunds.com, Auto Trader, Kelly Blue Book. So do the research on the safety rating, do the research on how much, okay, let me ask you this. Some of those websites, what else they could do for you when you do those research? Gas mileage. They'll probably be able to tell you how much the car is actually selling for. You know, compare, see, if somebody's selling this car for $2,000 more than what everybody's selling it for, there must be a reason, or they're selling it $5,000 less than what everybody's selling it for, there must be a reason. So that's some of the things that you might want to look at, okay? Okay. There's a most car salesperson. Have you ever gone shopping for cars with your parents before? You know what one of the first things they ask you? What is one of the first things they ask you most? I'm going to ask the adult here. What's the first thing the car salesperson asks you when you come to the dealership? Are you ready to buy? Because the car might not be here tomorrow, right? Or the other thing is, how much are you willing to spend? Is that right? Is that what you're going to say? Yeah, very good. So how much are you willing to spend? So what happens is, when you buy a car, you go there, they're going to ask you how much you're willing to spend. So all they're doing is, they want us to figure out how much you can afford, and then also how much the price to sell it to, even though the price of the car might be worth $2,000 lower than what you're willing to spend. But what they'll do is they're going to tack on that extra amount just because to meet the amount that you're willing to spend. So the point I'm making is this: before you go shop for a car, you need to do the research on that type of car and how much they're selling it to everybody else that have purchased that same similar type of car before. And then of course, that's one of the ways to make sure you don't get a bad deal. Because you might be upset if you came there and bought your Toyota Camry for $20,000 and then I told you I bought the same one for $15,000. You would be pretty upset. Okay? And they also say this, they also give you a pressure, said, hey, you know, if you don't buy this car, this white color car or this red pearl colored car that you have is not going to be here tomorrow. If you don't buy it, so when can we get it done? Okay? Trust me, the car will be there. Okay? If that car is not going to be there, they can get you another car. Okay? So don't let them pressure you to make buying a car. Okay? Because money in your hand is you don't have to worry about being able not to use your money. But when you buy that car, it's very hard for you to return that car and get the same money. You won't. Okay, and then some of you, you know, when you go to college or after you graduate from college or something like that, you need to buy a car. How many of you think that your parents are going to just give you the money to buy a car of your choice? Nobody, right? So there's something called financing car. Financing car meaning you borrow money from a bank or finance institution, and then what they'll do is, based on your credit, they'll loan you the money for a interest rate. So in other words, we're going back to, if you have good credit, you have a lower interest rate. If you have a bad credit, you have a higher interest rate. So the point is, you can go through it and look at your loan. Understand there's so many different types of loans, but I think that's a little bit too advanced for you guys. You know, for the adults, I can tell other things, but there's something called balloon payments. There's going to be something called there's a lot of different types of you know, where they'll give you a certain payment for a certain amount for like 2 years, so it makes it look good. And then after the 2 years, the payment might go up to, you know, to double, just to fit your budget. That's the reason why they said, how much are you willing to spend? Okay, some of those things. There are something called hidden prices. Okay, let's say you go there and you negotiate, you agree to that you can get your Camry for $15,000. Okay, and then when all the paperwork is done, all of a sudden you saw that the total sale price is $18,000. Why? Well, sometimes they have something called dealer's fee, dealer's preparation fee. In other words, like dealer's preparation fee, they might charge you $800 just to wash your car and bring it up to you, and then put it in vacuum a brand new car. So there's a lot of hidden prices that you need to know. So when I negotiate for a car, what I do is you tell them what is the drive-out price. Drive-out price meaning it includes everything, the taxes and all those hidden prices. What is the drive-out price? And determine whether you want to buy based on the drive-out price or not. Okay? Okay, here's a concept that I'm gonna, maybe the adults, maybe some of you guys may know, maybe may not. Okay, do you remember you said, what's your name? Haley said,